The best advice I can give anyone as far as leadership is concerned is the advice I mentioned at the conference, which was to listen. Listening. This is one of the hardest things that, unfortunately I'm going to be sexist in this is one of the hardest things men have to do, and one of the easiest things women do. Is to actively listen to what the other person has to say. If you're not going to listen to what the other person has to say, or even in terms of non-vocal communication, if you're not listening to what the person is saying, you won't understand how to best function to get that person motivated, which at the end of the day, that's the whole purpose. I'm not sure I'm the right person to answer that. I think the people who work with me would be more appropriate, because they'd be able to tell you what type of leadership I do bring to the party. Maybe I bring no leadership, I have no idea, but I'll try to be generous with myself this time and say, yeah, I'm pretty sure I do something that motivates people, otherwise they wouldn't be, the company wouldn't function and people wouldn't be wanting to be in the business. Collaborating with peers or like-minded people always puts you in a position of strength. Everyone has this impression the solitary, rugged individual will survive. No, it's always a person who is in a village or part of a family or part of an organization. They're the ones who survive, and that means you have to collaborate with others. You have to understand what are your strengths and weaknesses, and you have to be able to play to them and understand when you're strong, not to overstep your position and cause the other person to be hurt. And when you're weak, to understand how to best get the other person to help you get to a stronger point. You find that in a lot of cases it happens in a natural, if you go to a school ground, you will see that you have people who are intellectually intelligent, very smart and quick-witted, and you have people who happen to be larger and bigger and stronger. And you always find that there's always a strange collaboration between the two of them, where one ends up protecting the other, where the smart person becomes the wit for the larger person who might not be focused on his or her wit, and you find the larger person becomes the protector of the smaller person as far as physicality is concerned. But that's a natural progression, and natural collaboration. And those companies, if they are in tune with themselves and in tune with their strengths and abilities, can understand what other people lack and can hopefully fill in that gap and allow the other ones who have a strength in another aspect that they're missing to help them move forward as well. I try to do the one thing that I've seen a lot of people avoid doing, which is trying to listen to what the other person has to say. If I don't listen to them, I mean actively listen to them, pay attention to the cues that they're giving me, apart from the vocal words. If I don't pay attention to that, then I don't think I can help them. And subsequently, if I can't help them, they can't help me. That's an interesting question, and I say that because I do that with one organization back home, where they are my competitor in one business, but I collaborate with them in another business. You can take advantage of that because it can be something beneficial to your business, to your company. But at the same time, you also want to keep them a hand's length away from you, from your internal structures and how things get done in your company, because you don't want to give them that competitive advantage over you. Believe it or not, in her own way, it's my mother. I see the way she gets things done. Not the type of personality, and not a pushy personality, but rather a more laid-back, subdued. But you can understand when you've hurt her, and when you've done good, and you feel that. And it is a leadership through persuasion without force. And I think that lasts much longer than someone coming and shouting, because you do have people who, leaders who come and shout at you, and hopefully, and they think in their mind they browbeat you into a certain direction. I find that will work for a short term. You might need that sometimes. I mean, really, when crunch time happens, you need that. But I think the most effective leaders are those who can convince you without forcing you and without making you think that they are trying to impose their mindset. And I can't think of a better person than my mother in that. I think the easiest way of convincing anyone is in their pocket. When we're talking about a business here. So anyone who understands what you call the benefit out of making more revenue and making more money, there's a hardly, I can hardly think of something that can top that. You can talk about social aspects and the goodness of people's heart and everything, but at the end of the day, no one I can think of at least is in business because they want to be nice. Everyone's in business because they want to make money. So if you can find them the right way of helping them increase their bottom line and putting money in their pockets, I think they'll be more than happy to collaborate. Again, understanding who the opposite side is. What do they want? What are the key drivers for them? If you understand that before you start negotiating with them, you can easily hit the points that they want, and it makes things move that much more smoother. If you come in blank, then it's a long learning process, because throughout the negotiations they're going to tell you things that they want, but because you're not prepared for it, you might be shocked. It'd be better if you learn about this is a basic, simple concept in anything you do, to do a bit of research prior to interacting with anyone. If you do your research, you understand what your competitor, who you want to collaborate with, wants and needs, you can then be able to say, well, this is a want, we might not be able to get to it, but this is a need that you want, we will fulfill that aspect. They will do the same thing too. The best relationships can happen only if both parties understand what each party wants and what each party needs. If you can fulfill the needs, then the wants are the extras, which of course, if it doesn't cost you, you'd give it.